If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong. I am invincible. I am woman. I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back and pretend. I am woman, hear me roar. Depression, as far as I'm concerned, is just a waste of time. To this day, I get mail from women who say, I went to law school because of your song, but I would hate to think out of the wide spectrum of things I have done in my career, that's all I would be remembered for. In the 50s, a lot of girls never saw beyond the wedding day. I couldn't do anything. I'd work in a department store for a couple of weeks, but I couldn't hack it. I couldn't even type. I had no skills whatsoever outside of show business. 3/4 of the world's population doesn't have enough to eat. My audience is the baby boomers, the bulk of the population. This is also a group that is being ignored by most record companies because they're not the top 40 hit singles market. They forget these people still listen to music. Believe it or not, most people think of me as a recording artist, but actually the way I think of myself and the way I earn my living is as a performing artist. Women today have more of an overview of their lives and how marriage is or is not a part of it. I've been in a serious conversation with one of my children, and a fan has come up. I've been in a public bathroom and had the hand come under the stall with a paper and pen. That sort of thing anybody can live without. I'm a very private person, and when I leave the stage, I leave the stage. My audience are the same people who bought my albums years ago. These people are now married, with their own homes, their own families. If I'm in concert, I get people now who bring their kids. I worked with my parents on the stage in production numbers since I was 4, but I never really gave much thought to being a performer on my own until I was 12 or 13. I was looking for a husband, but meanwhile to survive, I had to work. There is a wealth of 20th century music that is being rediscovered by a generation that hasn't heard it. It took me a year to really learn the American lingo. I really feel for people who are coming here and don't speak English at all. It must be hell. Yoga is wonderful. It clears up most health problems. It also gives you an overview. I think back and marvel that my ambitions were so small. Please don't ask me any questions about the politics of 30 years ago. Hindsight is wonderful. It's always very easy to second guess after the fact. I don't know if it's a sign of all the chaos that is happening out there or not, but I've lately craved the structure and order of classical music, the balance and symmetry. I wanted control over the merchandising, the actual packaging of the product. That was a big factor. The only way for me to exercise control on all those levels was to start my own label. A lot of women are turned off by the physical appearance of some of the first feminists. I did my own music videos, my own TV commercials. I always believed that I could make it or I would never have spent so many years trying to get here. Most of the people I know in show business don't need anybody pushing them at all. They're extremely aggressive. I had a career for 25 years in Australia before I ever came to the United States. I was very strongly influenced by women's magazines, and I really believed a woman could not be married and raise a family and have a successful career, all at the same time. If you tell people your ambitions, they usually laugh at you. When I told my girlfriends when I was 12 that I was going to Hollywood, they all laughed. And here I am. It took so long to make it in America. The year I arrived was a bad year for women singers, the record company told me. So I starved. I lived in a hotel so dreadful I can't even talk about it. I like music to soothe me. I thought Erica Jong's Fear of Flying was one of the biggest pieces of crap that I've ever read in my life. I don't think any one person is the cause of all of someone else's problems. I believe wholeheartedly in marriage. I don't exclusively mean a marriage with a legal contract, but any relationship that constitutes a marriage because of the quality of their relationship. There is no magic person out there, no perfect human being out there waiting for you. You're not going to find a man whose socks don't get dirty or who doesn't snore. I think that two people who decide to live together in a marriage situation, they have an obligation to make the marriage work for them. Stop living a day at a time and stop worrying about age. If you had told me when I was 18 that I wouldn't have made it until I was 29, I would have said, forget it.